Creative Gibraltar is run by Patrizia Imossi, Christopher Tavares and Stefano Blanca Sciacaluga, and together they've created Kitchen. The art gallery and performance venue forms part of the Listen to the Siren Space for Contemporary Art programme. The gallery, which is situated in the historic site of Gibraltar's Montague Bastion, has acted as a blank canvas for this initiative and opened its doors for a month to artists of all ages and disciplines. The purpose for the project was to create a living, breathing workspace for artists in Gibraltar, a space to facilitate the exploration of their work, something that's hard to come by for local artists. The month-long initiative has had an overwhelming response from the public and included various workshops and performances, bringing artists' works out of the void and creating an atmosphere of mutual learning, collaboration and appreciation.
So the name of my project was #ThisIsNotArt, and basically the idea behind it was to explore the relationship between social media and art. I felt it was really important to kind of bring this into the Kitchen project because I feel like social media is changing how we relate to each other, how we communicate with each other, and I felt that that question or those issues need to be brought into the context of art. So what I did was I asked about 25 people, local people, if they would allow me to basically look over their Instagram profiles and choose some photographs, some images, and also videos, and put them together in a collective exhibition of Instagram photographs. So the exhibition consists of about 100 photographs from 25 individuals from all walks of life. We have artists, we have students, we have a lawyer, we have a customs officer, we have a youth worker, we have someone who's currently traveling, which kind of serves to highlight how accessible art is becoming through social media. And that's kind of, those are the kind of questions that I wanted to ask and bring to the foreground. I wanted to stimulate a discussion about social media and art and what the relationship is like. Some people absolutely love it, some people absolutely hate it, and I really wanted to bring that to the fore. You know, what do you think? It raised issues of ownership up that I hadn't really anticipated before. I realized that anyone could go into your Instagram profile and just download a JPEG. So there's a lot to discuss and a lot to think about. You know, is it art if it's online? Is it art if it's not shared? You know, does it break the traditional boundaries of art? And these are the kind of questions really that my exhibition was meant to kind of raise. So if I've kind of planted a couple of seeds in people's mind, that is a success.
You have a fusion of traditional, if you could call it that, medium of photography with new technology, and the fusion of the two, and the accessibility of photography to the masses. As before, you'd be either take a picture in a context of vacation, in a context of a special occasion. Nowadays, pictures are taken every day because of that accessibility that the smartphone provides. There's an element of ambiguity in the sense of why are you taking the picture? Are you taking the picture so that someone can see it? Are you taking the picture because it's the right moment, there's an inspiration? Or is it simply just a medium to share, a medium for people to see your work where wouldn't normally have seen it?
It's good to see the artists at work because they feed off each other, and we need to find a space here so that it can carry on, because the more that happens, the more people come on board, and it's good to Creative Gibraltar. We need to feed people.
The best way I thought I could contribute to the kitchen would be by hosting a Introduction to Life Drawing Exercises workshop, which is different to a life drawing workshop because it kind of introduces people to different exercises. Because when people are first faced with a model, when somebody ever goes life drawing for the first time, it's quite daunting to be in front of a model. And suddenly you find you'll either have too much time or not enough time, or there's a lot of detail which you
creates an extra buzz, and artists sort of learn from other artists and get ideas from other artists. Not only that, we're getting a surprisingly young turnout, which is brilliant. People who don't attend normal light drawing classes that are organized by the Fine Arts Association have attended this session. So it's bringing the community together, different ages, for the purpose of art.
I chose to do something like this because I feel like this Bastion has a lot of life, and I was really intrigued by this space because it's not exactly a body, but it kind of reminded me that this hole in the wall, it was like it's some kind of cut in the body of the Bastion, and I felt like I should do something inside of it to resemble the lifeline of it, because this place has so much history. Originally my idea was quite different because I wanted to make it messier, you know, make it more look more like veins, but it didn't quite work out. So what I did was something more architectural and more precise. You can't make any holes in the wall, and things don't stick to the wall because it's so dusty. So I've had to find a way to be friendly with the walls and not damage them.
used 2 of the little vaults and I've made like a pond. I like the idea of plastic, everything a plastic world, especially these days that it's all plastic. I make boxes, but they're normally sort of 47 or 50 centimeters. And this is a box, this is another box for me. But it's like a world within a world. That's what I like, creating worlds. So these 2 projects I've made very little. I've just constructed the sets. Sometimes I have to make the models, make the heads, wire them, dress them. That's a lot of fun as well, but it takes a long time. Then you have to make wigs and the props, the floors. You have to do the floors, but this is freer. It's like big, bold and plastic.